Hello, my name is Mariano Sanchez, and I'm excited to share my insights from the self-assessment questionnaires, which help me uncover valuable aspects of my communication style, especially in the context of digital and intercultural interactions. Through these assessments, I identified that my dominant communication style leans toward being proactive and adaptable. For example, I rated myself highly on verbal and non-verbal communication. I'm comfortable adjusting my language and tone depending on my audience, especially when speaking in my native Spanish. However, I noticed that in English, which I primarily use here in Canada, I face more challenges, particularly with idioms and cultural nuances that don't translate directly from Spanish. This finding is a reminder of how cultural background can shape one's communication, even when speaking the same language. From a cultural perspective, my Mexican heritage has influenced how I approach conversations, often with warmth, openness, and a readiness to connect with others. In my culture, we use a lot of expressions and gestures that convey sincerity and enthusiasm. However, I'm aware that these traits can sometimes be perceived differently in a digital multicultural setting, where cultural interpretations may be different. Analyzing my communication style has revealed both strengths and areas where I can improve, especially when communicating digitally. For instance, one key strength is my adaptability. In Mexico, we tend to communicate with high energy and expressiveness, often using gestures to emphasize our points. I bring this enthusiasm to digital platforms like video calls or social media, which helps to build rapport quickly. However, in intercultural digital spaces, this expressiveness can sometimes be seen as intense or even overwhelming. I've learned to adjust my tone and body language accordingly, particularly when interacting with colleagues or clients from cultures that prefer a more reserved communication style. One specific sample is during virtual meetings. I noticed that maintaining strong eye contact and using clear, concise language helps bridge cultural gaps, especially with people from low-context cultures who appreciate directness. However, I sometimes miss subtle nonverbal cues, like minimal nods or slight facial expressions, which might indicate agreement or disagreement. Recognizing these nuances has made me more mindful in these settings. Reflecting on my results, one of my key strengths as a communicator is my openness to feedback and my willingness to adapt. I believe this quality allows me to connect with others effectively, even in a diverse cultural setting. For instance, as someone who's lived and worked in both Mexico and Canada, I've learned the importance of being open to a different perspective and adjusting my approach based on cultural context. This adaptability has proven especially useful in digital interactions, where we miss out on some nonverbal cues and rely heavily on written or spoken words. However, I do face challenges. One of the main ones is dealing with misunderstandings in cultural and intercultural digital communication. In Mexican culture, we often interrupt each other as a form of engagement, but in other cultures, this can be seen as rude. I'm working on being more conscious of this by allowing more space in conversations and focusing on active listening. To address these challenges, I'm focusing on three main strategies. First, I'm working on refining my nonverbal communication skills by observing and learning from others. This helps me understand when to use gestures and when to hold back. Second, I'm practicing more structured communication by summarizing key points in emails or virtual meetings, which helps prevent misunderstanding. Lastly, I aim to continuously learn about cultural differences in communication by engaging with different groups and staying open to feedback. In conclusion, this self-assessment exercise has not only deepened my understanding of my communication style, but also highlighted the role of culture in shaping how we interact digitally. As I continue to navigate intercultural spaces, I'm committed to improving my adaptability and cultural awareness, ensuring my communication remains respectful, clear, and effective. Thank you for listening, and I hope this reflection resonates with those navigating their own unique communication styles in diverse environments. Thank you very much.